Political development was the central issue of the day by 1970.
Final agreement on the future political status of Micronesia has not yet been reached. Nevertheless, the final decision on your future will be yours to make. Our main interest is to ensure that whatever agreement is reached will serve the best interests of all.
The Congress of Micronesia had been moving toward full self-government in its status negotiations with the U.S. Its bargaining chip was the strategic location of the islands and the potential of the islands as military bases. In turn, the Congress wanted continuing financial assistance from the U.S.
The Congress's Political Status Commission has said that it seeks not an end, but a redefinition, a renewal, and an improvement in its partnership with the United States.
From the beginning, the Micronesian negotiating team had settled on free association with the U.S. as a future political status of first choice. When the U.S. made a counteroffer of Commonwealth status, the Micronesian delegation rejected the proposal.
The sense was that U.S. citizenship and becoming part of the United States was a goal that was aspired to by every thinking, breathing person in the world, and they included the Micronesians in that group.
In '69, the United States, through Ambassador Hayden Williams, announced to the Congress that the option that the United States was interested in was Commonwealth.
But we told them no. And if this was going to be an offer, it had to be alongside other options. But I think that it was then that some real hard choices had to be made.
It is good to say free association, Commonwealth, independence, all these words. But to an ordinary Micronesian person, he wants to see a piece of paper outlined to him what is in for him, for his children, and for his children's children. We are not playing a game anymore. That is why we have to be careful.
By the next round of negotiations with the U.S., the Micronesian delegation came armed with 4 basic principles. The U.S. must recognize Micronesia's political sovereignty. Micronesians would no longer take orders from the U.S. or accept any sort of a territorial status. Micronesia had the right to self-determination. Micronesia had the right to adopt its own constitution. And finally, both the U.S. and Micronesia had the right to terminate a compact of free association. In the minds of the Micronesian delegation, free association was still the first and best status option for the islands.
Under this arrangement, the Micronesians would have the right of full self-government, and foreign affairs and defense responsibilities would rest with the United States.
If the U.S. would not seriously consider free association as an option, there was always full independence as a fallback position.
For a long time we were taught that independence is impossible for Micronesia, and I was taught that in school when I was a student. So we've been brainwashed for a long time, and now we're beginning to realize that what we were told is not really true.
You know, the talk at the time was that we were going to be dependent forever. But Tos Nakayama, from the very beginning, never blinked when he talked real independence. No free association talk or anything like that at the time either.
I believe that Micronesia future political status has got to be independence. I strongly believe in total independence for Micronesia.
I think it was a negotiated position. That was the upper limit. That was the only thing that they had that the U.S. would respect and respond to.
But independence was not one of the options that the U.S. was offering.
In my opinion, the United States made some serious mistakes in their early negotiations with the Micronesians, and they lost the opportunity to reach some kind of a common position to which all the districts might have agreed. And what they were insisting on at the beginning was a territorial status, just like Guam and the Virgin Islands under organic acts. They did not depart from that position, unfortunately, after it became clear during the second round that the Micronesian leadership would not seriously consider any such territorial relationship, which thoroughly threw the U.S. delegation off their footing. And by the time they regrouped and were prepared to move to some extent toward the Micronesian position, it was too late.
The U.S. had missed its opportunity, and as a result, Micronesia would slowly become divided.